Right, so what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about what it's like outside of the 92, obviously with Rochdale and Oldham being in the non-league conference football, obviously being relegated from League Two. Obviously, we just been recently relegated. Oldham has spent a season in the National League, obviously being relegated in the 21-22 season. So we are going to be doing our predictions as well. So whatever we think that is appropriate for your team, obviously these will change. We left this as late as possible. There is 2 days before National League starts because obviously we wanted to see the signings who's been brought in. Unlike my Premier League predictions, which I've just rushed straight into, and I think I'm sticking with most of them because I think most of them are accurate. Obviously, with City doing the treble, I think they're more than capable of doing it again. Let's hope not. Um, there's Brad, my mate. Come on, you Reds is a Liverpool fan. So yeah, obviously without the Premier League predictions, which did rush quite into City champions, United second, Liverpool third, obviously to be relegated, Luton, Fulham, Wolves, Sheffield United have just put to survive, which now has backed out. Never mind. Let's wait till he comes back in because he has got the code as well. But yeah, National League predictions, here we come. We are going to be talking about life outside of the Football League at the end of the predictions. Obviously, we've got 24 teams to do. Starting off with champions, the playoffs via the playoff winner, you know, and then we'll get into life outside of the EFL. So, Brad, do you want to say something, mate? Get one of your predictions in. We'll move back, take a sip of water. Let's wait for him to come back because he's lagged out. There he is. He's come back in. It's a bit of technical difficulties going on there. Rochdale top six. Yeah, I think Rochdale top six as well. I've got my predictions on my phone here. You lag out a bit there, mate.
Yeah, hit lagged off for some reason.
Uh, so, like I was saying, in case you missed it, Jamie, we're going to be doing our predictions first and then
Yeah.
talking about life outside of obviously the Football League pyramid. So, who are your. In fact, do you want to go from 24th to first or from first down to
Yeah,
24th?
we'll go 24 first.
All right, who are you going for 24th?
But in my 24th, I've gone with Aldershot Town. Like because obviously how Aldershot are struggling with a lot of things. So I'm not sure who they've signed either. So yeah, Aldershot 24th.
Fair enough. And I've got a newly promoted team from the National League South. It is Oxford City. I think they're more than capable of upsetting a few teams, but I don't think the squad is in depth or strengthened enough to survive this National League division. Obviously, now that we've lost two of the main teams in there, which is Wrexham and Notts County, because they've been now promoted to League Two and rightly so deserved it. Blitz the league last season, the pair of them. Um, I think that obviously being a new team, it is going to be a hard league. It's not, oh, you go up, you're going to survive, blah, 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 or you come down, you're going to get promoted. So I put Oxford City to finish rock bottom, who's your 23rd.
Yeah. The 23rd is Dorking. Obviously they came up last season, but there was in the end they were getting a lot of sticky results, weren't they, last season? Obviously they
Mm-hmm.
even lost 5-1 at home to Oldham as well. So I just think second season at National League, I don't think they'll stay up this season.
Yeah, second season syndrome. My 23rd, like Jamie's 24th, is Aldershot Town. I put Aldershot in 23rd. Obviously, same reasons as Jamie. They are having a few difficulties, and it can be quite hard to get out of. You look at the likes of Scunthorpe, obviously, back-to-back relegations. Now they're playing regional football, which is shocking for Scunthorpe, considering what over 10 years ago there was a championship club. In
Yeah.
fact, it's going to be more than 10 years now. But yeah, Aldershot in my 23rd. Who you go for 22nd?
22nd, I've gone with someone that's quite local to us. I've gone with Altrincham. Again, I'm not sure who the Altrincham have signed, but I know that they've lost a few of their main players from last season as well. So yeah.
My 22nd is everyone's favourite. You watch them, fam? Wealdstone, obviously tricky division as well. To be fair, did quite all right last season. I won't say it was amazing because they weren't, but they were one of the good teams in the National League that stood out for me. I do think we're obviously losing a few key players, and if I'm being honest, looking at it, there's no one really good to replace. So, unfortunately, time's up in National League and regional football will be heading your way come May next season. April, sorry. Quite used to see May, obviously, because of former football league side, but obviously not anymore. So, who's your 21st?
21st, I've gone with Oxford City. I don't think they've got the squad for the National League, but obviously, I think 21st keeps them up. I think, doesn't it? So, I think they'll just about survive. I think.
I've gone with Dorking. Same reason why Jamie's put him in a relegation. Obviously, I'll just come up as well. Squad depth ain't strong enough to survive this division. I don't think. I personally think they made some poor choices in signings when they could have done a lot better. We've shot themselves in the foot, I think, and for that reason, I think they'll be relegated. Not relegated, Jesus Christ. Right, who's your 20th?
I've gone with Wellsden. Same reason as you were saying before. Yeah, same reason as you were saying before. But I got the team, obviously. Yeah, I've gone with Wellsden in 20th. Yeah.
In 20th, I've gone Maidenhead. I think they've just got enough, only just to survive this division. And I also got you Red's message up on my screen because I couldn't care less about Liverpool. No offense, Brandon, you're still watching, but they are a pile of shite. But Maidenhead, yeah, like I say, I think they've just got enough to survive very briefly, though. So they'll be in a relegation scrap most of the season, but the signings they've got, I think, is just enough to keep them above that drop zone. So in number 19, who you gone?
In my number 19, I've gone with Maidenhead. I think they've got enough to survive because obviously there's worse teams than them like Wellsden or Oxford, Dorking. So yeah, I've gone with 19th Maidenhead.
So 19th, if my old ed teacher is watching, then Merry Christmas. I've been generous here, even though you excluded me about 6 million times in school. So if you're watching, that's for you. But I've got to put Dagenham and Redbridge now. Obviously, this used to be Football League side. Obviously, been relegated to non-league. But Dagenham and Redbridge aren't even a bad side, if I'm being honest. If they build the squad up even more, I reckon they could finish a lot higher than 19th, but they don't try in the transfer window. Yeah, they get some good players, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to actually performing on match day, there's nowhere to be seen. I mean, it's just a Dagenham and Redbridge thing, in my opinion, if I'm being honest. But yeah, who's your number 18th?
I've gone with another newly promoted team, Kidderminster Harriers. I don't know much about Kidderminster, to be fair. Obviously, they came up from the playoffs and all that, but yeah, I've put them in. Is it 18th? Yeah.
We're off to Yorkshire now for my number 18th. I've got Halifax. Now, Halifax are a hit and miss side, if I'm being honest. One season, they're up there, playoffs, around about the promotion area. The other season, they're around about relegation there, I think. Oldham will be. You know what, Brad? I'll say it in a minute, but whatever. Right, so Halifax, yeah. Like I saying, one season they're up in that playoff spot promotion area. The other season they're back down or bottom. I think it's just going to be a repeat, if I'm being honest. But I think Halifax is going to start the season off strong. come Christmas, they're going to go on a massive dip. I think they're going to finish 18th, but it wouldn't surprise me if Halifax, if it's the other way around, and start the season off shocking, and then at Christmas turn it around and end up at the other end of the table, you know. But I've gone Halifax to finish 18th. Who's your number 17th?
I've gone with Halifax in 17th. Same reason as you. They have a lot of wins and then they go on like a downward fall. But like, if they start winning at the start of the season, then they could be up there. It's just one of them with Halifax, really.
Yep. My number 17th is a tram ride away. Altrincham. I think obviously they have some fantastic. They got right first season. Obviously got the likes of Nicky Adams in, which I think was a fantastic signing for him. You know, so they do make some good signings, but yet again, this league it's like any other league now. League One getting it's harder than it ever has been in my lifetime. Same with League Two, Championship and Prem. You know, the leagues are getting harder as we get older. Spouts survived last season, and I think they'll do the same, to be honest. Much rather put the 17th. On to your number 16th, Jamie.
I've gone with Gateshead. Obviously, they had a good season last year. They got to the FA Trophy final against, was it Halifax, I think? Yeah, so I've gone with them. Yeah, Gateshead.
Right, for my number 16th, I've gone Barnet. Yet again, just your standard National League team. So they're in a sultry position for me. Not too low, not too high. Round about mid-table area. Who's your number 15th?
In number 15, I've gone with Ebbsfleet Town. They won the National League South last season. They won it quite easily as well. So yeah, I've gone with them in 15th. Yeah.
15th. Right, give us a second. Come on, work, you bastard. Right. Up to 15th, yeah? Right. In 15th, I've gone Mark Goldbridge's favourite team because he ain't a United fan. Solihull Moors. Now, like usual, another standard National League mid-table side. Nothing special. I don't think they've done anything that's, brightened my eyes in the transfer window or brightened anyone's other eyes. So for number 15th, I'm going Solihull. Who's your number 14th?
In number 14, I've gone with Southend United. They've had a lot of financial problems, obviously. Obviously, they've had trouble with the stadium as well. So, yeah, I've gone with Southend in 13th.
I mean, will we even get to go Southend away this season? You know what I mean? I would like to go again, but obviously you got on first away game of the season. We got on last away game of the season. That's our final game of the season.
It's definitely on.
Yeah, yours definitely is, but we got to wait until April, which is a bit worrying. Right, number 14th, I've gone Gateshead. Played Gateshead a couple of times. I think do a really good team. To be fair, to give Rochdale a real good test in the FA Cup, but we did come out right winners of that, and rightly so. But apart from that, they did give us a solid good test. We've still got a few players, I do believe, in that squad as well, which I do quite like. And it sounds like they're not going to have a great season. They're going to finish. Yeah, I'm going to put mid-table 14th.
Yeah. Then, wait, what position are we on now?
13th.
13th. In 13th, I've gone with Bromley. They got playoffs last season. They played decent, Bromley as well. So, 13th.
In 13th, unlucky for some, the Monkey Hangers, you're saying in the National League. Obviously relegated with us from League Two from the end of last season. And played the positive seasons for both teams, if I'm being honest. But Hartlepool, they have lost quite a lot of that squad. Obviously, the keeper being the main person that's gone. But I think Hartlepool, the rebuild, they've got to. They've got no choice, otherwise they're in more deeper trouble than it already is. Um, but yeah, I think they'll finish 13th, solid 13th place for a team that I think was poorer than us. And that was saying something. We were really poor last season, but if you think about it, from the start of 2023 is where we picked up the most points, and that's where Hartlepool dropped the most points. It's only before Christmas Hartlepool picked up those points, but it weren't enough, obviously, to keep them up anyway. But Hartlepool 13th, on to our number 12. Who you got?
In 12th, I've gone with Dagenham and Redbridge. They had a good season last year. There's some winger that's decent, what I like to look up last season. I'm not sure if he's still there, but he was decent last year. So, yeah, I've gone with Dagenham and Redbridge. And yeah.
I agree, Brad. Southend are a terrible mess. You know, I've only been once, and that'll be 6 years by next year. Would you? Right. So, Southend, oh, fucking hell, yeah. What was that about Southend? Yeah, Southend is a mess at the moment. It'll be 6 years since I actually went. Obviously, went 2018, 5 years this year. Obviously, come April 2024, 6 years. But I doubt I'll get to go again, which is a worrying thing about it. You know, obviously, the Oldham Southend games going ahead at Roots Hall, but, you know, it would be nice to go again. Just don't see it happening. But number 12, I've
got my ticket.
What, on your phone or?
Yeah, it's a phone ticket for Southend.
A paper ticket last time, but we're talking about what, nearly 5 years ago now. So
yeah, it's gone all digital. Anyway, you're 12th place in it.
Fucking hell, Southend spend money. That's new to me. Oh, joking. Southend fans don't get too disheartened. 12, I've gone Fylde. Obviously, a team that Rochdale do like to have it against in pre-season. We've not had them this year, which is a real shock because we always seem to have them in pre-season. Yeah, I think, like I say, I've not done my research on Fylde, if I'm being honest. There's quite a few teams we've not done research on. But obviously, the other teams I've got good excuses for, but Fylde, I've got no excuses, just I've done my research. And I think, obviously, that's the right position to finish. What's your 11th?
I've gone with Solihull Moors in 11th. Obviously, they're always near in around 11th anyway, so yeah, Solihull Moors 11th place.
11th place, which I've actually been nice to a newly promoted team. I put Kidderminster. I think Kidderminster, for me, they've stood out of all the teams that have come up. Their signings have stood out for me. The quality that they've invested in that squad. I think, to be fair, you know what? You'll have a good season in the National League. You won't go up, you won't go down. You'll shock quite a few teams. You'll lose to probably the worst teams in the division as well. You know, 1 week you'll play Oxford City, you'll get beat 5-0. And you'll all play Chesterfield, who's 1 game away from promotion, and beat them 3-0. You know what I mean? So I think Kidderminster will upset a few teams. They'll get upset by a few teams themselves as well. I think they're the only team that have come up from National League North and South that I think are more than capable of getting in the top half of the table for me. Who's your number 10th?
I've gone with AFC Fylde, another newly promoted team. But just like you were saying before, I've not really done my research on them. I just know they did well last season, so yeah, I've put them in 10th place.
In 10th place is York. Now, for those that you don't know, my first away day with Rochdale was York. We lost 3-2 that day. Yeah, and the bad luck with away days continued ever since for me. I'm always joking. But yeah, First time at York City, I went lost 3-2. That was when both teams were in Football League side, but it don't matter. I think York City last season they had a cracking season. I think I remember when they played Oldham. Did watch that. They give you a good game. You give them a good game.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think York City, solid 10th position. You know, you lost some players, you've gained some fantastic ones, but will they fit into that squad depth with your formation and tactics? Who knows? Right, number 9.
Well, no, I've gone with Boreham Wood. I think they got playoffs last year. I can't remember, but
Yeah, final, didn't they? Lost it.
oh yeah, they lost yeah to
So that's
Notts
counter.
County. Was it? So
Yeah.
yeah, I've gone with them in 9 because even against Oldham last year, they was decent. So yeah, I've gone with them in 9th. I've not done my research to either signed or anything though, but
In 9th place is Rochdale's first game of the season. I'm not saying the team. Rochdale fans should know. If not, do your research. No, I'm joking. You should know it anyway. It's FC. I think they'll do really good in the National League. Obviously, blitzed the league last season, without a doubt. I mean, regional league, but yeah, blitzed regional pretty well. To be honest, I think they'll show that solidarity in the National League. They've kept hold of some key players from the promotion squad. Do not let anyone um, go that's worthy spot. They kept all good players, so I think FC so in 9th place. Who's your 8th?
I've gone with Barnet in 8th, so just missing the playoffs because yeah, it's 7th in it, the playoffs.
Yeah, so 8th, and then obviously 7 and above up until seconds playoffs.
Yeah, so I have put Barnet in the playoffs in 8th place. So I'm just missing the playoffs. I mean,
You put Barnet in
in
8th
8th.
place. Right.
Yeah,
So
Barnet.
in 8th place, I have put Southend. I think Southend, despite what's going on, despite what was going on last season, they did finish quite high up in the table. I think they'll do the same, to be honest. Southend will just be in that position until Ron Martin, folds that club, which is what he's aiming for by lots of things. I think Southend, yeah, 8th place, right? 7th place, easy 7th.
I've gone with Eastleigh, just getting that final playoff spot. They gave us a game last year as well, so yeah, I've gone with them in 7th. So just about getting the playoffs.
Yeah, that's where I put Eastleigh as well, so that's one we both agree on. Right, into our number 6.
I've gone with Hartlepool. Obviously, they came down with Rochdale to the National League this year. I think they've got a good team for the National League. Just to get them a playoff spot in 6th place, in my opinion.
6th place, I've gone Bromley. I think they've got enough to obviously blitz. I think they'll be up there. I think if not Chesterfield, I've gone. It's between Chesterfield and any of the playoff teams that I put, but I've gone and put Bromley in 7th. So I think they've made some amazing signings, brought in some key players that will fit that squad. So I think Bromley finished good 7th place. Sixth.
6th, yeah.
Yeah. Right. 5th. Who's your 5th?
I've gone with Woking. Obviously, they got playoffs last year as well, I think. They've got a decent team. I've gone with Woking in 5th place.
5th place, I've gone Oldham Athletic. I think, honestly, Oldham's first season in National League was one to forget, if I'm being honest. But yet again, you had new owners. You had the likes of Frank come in, replacing Abdallah Lengsman. Obviously, that season was getting used to the National League, getting used to Frank, what he wants to take the club forward. And he's stuck to his word, in my opinion, because the pitch before looked like a royal shithole. and the benches weren't even
Yeah.
benches. But now I've seen it's like car seats with the Oldham Athletic crest into it, and the pitch just looks immaculate now. But yeah, I think Oldham will have a good season and finish fifth. Right, who's your fourth?
I've gone with York City. They did well last season, but yeah, I think York will go further this year, and I think they'll get fourth place.
In fourth, I've gone Woking. Same reasons as Jamie. They've got enough to be up there, and I think they are one of the best teams in the league. If I'm being honest. Right, on to number three.
In number three, I've gone with your team, Rochdale. I hate to say it, but I think you'll be up there this year. Obviously, you've got a good enough team for the National League. So yeah, I've gone with Rochdale in third place.
In third place, I have gone Boreham Wood. Obviously, playoff finalists, runners up last season. I think they've got enough to do it again. If I'm being honest, I think they will be up there again. So Boreham Wood is my number three. Who's your number two?
In number two, I've gone with I have said Oldham because we've been signing some good players. Obviously today, I know that James Norwood's apparently signing a 1-year deal. He's got National League experience. He's got National League experience, and we've signed other decent players, so that's why I've said Oldham in second place.
In second place, we are taking a trip across the road to Rochdale. Now, I think Rochdale, obviously my team, well, second team, because United first, if you can't see. Where's the badge? Fuck's sake. It's mirrored, that's why. Fuck, right, I give up with that. But yeah, anyways, my team, Rochdale, obviously relegated from League Two last season. Rightly so, it was abysmal. But yeah, I think Rochdale, they've got the more than capable of winning the league. If Chesterfield slip up and Rochdale whizzing at a good time, I think we're more than capable of snatching the league title. I think Jim McNulty's invested well in his squad. He knows exactly what he wants. He's clearing up after Jim Bentley's mess. We've got some decent players in, to be fair, and I think Adam Clayton from Bradford City, used to play for Bradford City. I think that's a fantastic signing, Adam Clayton. Harvey Gilmore, former Tranmere player as well. I think it's a real good signing. Obviously, we've got a few loans, being our goalkeeper on loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers. So I think that's a fantastic deal that we managed to sneak in with Wolves. But do I think we'll finish as champions? If Chesterfield slip up, hopefully we do. And that brings us on to our National League champions, which we're both on the same. So, Jamie, do you want to say it for both of us?
Yeah. Well, it's Chesterfield, isn't it? I think Chesterfield this season have got a squad that'll be champions in the National League. Obviously, they've got a really good squad this year, signing players like Will Grigg as well. So yeah, I think Chesterfield's too good this year, just not to be champions.
Yeah, like Jamie said, fantastic signings and recruitment by Chesterfield. Obviously, bringing the likes of Will Grigg, I think is an amazing signing. If I'm being honest, they've got the best squad in the league, and I think rightly so deserved champions. So that's all our predictions done. Now let's have a chat about life outside of Football League. So obviously I'm yet to experience it, but Jamie has experienced it, obviously being relegated last year with Oldham. So Jamie, how was your first, you've been in National League a year now, so how did you experience it when you played your first game in the National League? Did you think that, you could have improved on your transfer window?
It was a rebuild, obviously, because we got new owners in. We had Frank Rothwell come in to save the club from Abdallah, obviously. But I think we could have improved at the start of the season, because obviously towards the end of the season we was winning constantly, to be fair.
I agree.
But at the start of the season, I think that was just about rebuilding the team and just, yeah.
thoughts on Johnny Sheridan then, obviously, because as soon as these new owners come in, he hung up, didn't
Yeah, I just obviously he's an Oldham legend. Obviously, well, we all call him a legend at Oldham, obviously. But I just don't think he was the right manager in the end, because obviously it was just hoofball football every week, and it just obviously gets boring. And
he?
a lot of teams could just read us every time we play. Like, I don't think hoofball football works anymore.
No, I don't. That's what got us relegated both times, and we're in the same position as you now. But obviously, what's your thoughts on this upcoming season? Do you think that obviously we play you Derby Day, so what score predictions on that? Like, what do you think the outcomes will be?
I think we'll. I think we'll. I think we'll do well in both games. Obviously, we always turn up in the derbies most of the time.
Yeah, you do.
There's not many teams. There's not many times recently like you've actually beat us. Obviously, you've had the odd couple of times, obviously, but that's about it. But yeah, that's me. Fun. Sorry about
Would you shut up with your fucking ice cream, man?
that. There we go.
Thankful. Right. Obviously, yeah. Recent times against Oldham, beat them 2-0 in the Checkatrade Trophy at the time. Now it's at Papa John's. Obviously, they beat us 1-0 at our place. Donkey done with the goal. And then obviously do 0-0 at Boundary Park. Before that was a 0-0 draw at Scotland, and then you beat us 3-1 on my birthday when Owen Doyle scored a brace and picked up the corner flag around Boundary Park, the little ginger bastard. Now he's retired, so happy retirement, you fucking twat. But yeah, obviously my predictions are hoping we come out on top, but like Jamie said, we've not turned up in the past couple of performances. I'm going to go a 2-1 Rochdale win at Rochdale. I'm going to go Gilmore with the goal, and I'm going to go Clayton with the goal as well. And for you, I'm probably going to say we're going to score an own goal. Matt Saylor probably. But at Boundary Park, I think obviously it is going to be different. Obviously, your home stadium, you probably will turn up. You know what? I'm going to say you're going to beat us 2-1 that day. So 2-1 win for us, 2-1 loss for us. But we do it all the time. I said to Jamie last time I was at Boundary Park, I said, look, we're all getting hyped for this and watch it be a boring 0-0. And it did. Ended up 0-0. That fan who collapsed in the stands had more fucking entertainment than the rest of us inside that stadium that day. But yeah, it is what it is, you know. Who turns up, who doesn't. You know, it's what it is. And also, yeah, Bradley's right. Adam Clayton did play in the Premier League. I forgot about that. Yeah, he did. With Middlesbrough. Forgot all about that, I'm being honest. But yeah, looking forward to the new season, Jamie.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We've not been with every year. It's just been bottom half finishes since I've supported Oldham. So it'll be good to finally see us at least have a playoff push at least this season.
Yeah. 0-0. Allardyce was there. No, Allardyce was there for when they beat us 1-0 because Stockdale's mate, you know. And then at Boundary Park, I don't know if he were at Boundary Park. If I'm being honest, I knew he was at Rochdale, but at Boundary Park, I don't remember him being there. For fuck's sake, why don't this fucking show? Oh, yeah, bastard, lads. So, good luck, lads, he says. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Fuck's sake, it's fucking lads. So. Right. I'd like to thank Jamie for being on the channel. If you like this video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already. And I'll see you in the next video, which I don't even know when will be because obviously I've stopped doing Rochdale Voice now. I'll call that under the line. I'll be doing it for 5 years, but I'll expand and do something else on my channel. But I'll still talk about Rochdale. If you want me to go in there and do a live stream video at night about Rochdale, about Man United, about anything, I will. But yeah, I'd say massive thanks for watching. Thanks to Jamie for being on the channel.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'll see you in a bit.